All right, number 1, it says determine the x-intercepts of any. So x-intercepts where you cross the x-axis, so that would be the point -2, 0. Determine the y-intercepts, that's where it crosses the y-axis, and that crosses at the point 0, 2. Okay. Number 2, solve and check each linear equation. So in this case, all I need to do is distribute the negative. So I've got 5x minus 2x plus 10 equals 35. Combine like terms. That's 3x, and then subtract the 10 over. And so I get 25. So x equals 25 thirds. Part B. There's a lot of different ways to work this problem, but the easiest way probably is to multiply everything by the common denominator of every term. So I need a 5, I need a 6, and I need a 1. So that means 30 is the, well, I guess I could say 6 is 2 times 3, but because 5 doesn't share any of those factors, it's just 6. So we're going to multiply every term by 30. Now, I could write it like this, but you got to remember that we're going to distribute 30 to every term. So that's 30x divided by 5 equals 30x divided by 6 plus 30. Now, of course, you can do this in your head and just simplify it as you do it, but I wanted to go ahead and write it out. So 30 divided by 5 is 6. 30 divided by 6 is 5. And there we go. So we subtract 5x over, and you get x equals 30. On the next one. So the denominator here is 1, and then 7, and then 2, and then 2. So the common denominator between all of them would be 14. So let's just multiply everything by 14. Okay, so 14 times 2x is 28x. Okay, so here's where I'll start simplifying. 14 divided by 7 is 2, so it's just 2 times 2x. 14 times x over 2, well, 14 divided by 2 is 7, so that's 7x. And then 14 divided by 2 is 7, and 7 times 17 is 70 plus 49, so 119. All right. This is 24x. 28x minus 4x is 24x. 24x minus 7x would be 17x. So 17x equals 119. And let's see, 17 times, well, we just said 17 times 7. So that is 7. Okay. When a number is decreased, or when twice a number is decreased by 9, the result is 37. When twice a number is decreased by 9, so we subtract 9, we get 37. So we just solve 2x equals, so we add 9, that's 46. So x equals 23. According to statistics, actually just give me a second. Okay. According to statistics, a person will devote 36 years to sleeping and watching TV. So for sleeping, we've got X. For TV, we've got Y. And this represents the number of hours, or number of years. The number of years of sleeping will exceed the number of years of watching TV by 20 over a lifetime of how many years will a person spend on each of the activities. So here's what I know. A total of 36 years is devoted to doing these two things. So I know that the number of years sleeping plus the number of years watching TV has to add up to 36. I'll move that over. I also know that the number of years sleeping, X, will exceed the number of years watching TV by 20. So whatever this is, it's 20 more than that. Or the number of years watching TV plus 20 would add up to the number of years sleeping. So X equals Y plus 20. Okay, at this point you got a system of equations. So we could either, I'm going to write this again over here. But over here what I'll do is I'll subtract the Y over. So I'm going to do a substitution over here and elimination over here. So elimination, you got to get the X and the Y on the same side and the constant on the other side of the equal sign. Here using elimination, I would just take Y plus 20 and I would substitute it in for X right there. So Y plus 20 plus Y equals 36. 2Y equals, subtract the 20 over 16, that means Y equals 8. And if y equals 8, then that means x equals 28 hours. And then over here, if I were to do elimination, then I would have just said, well, the y's already cancel each other out. They're opposite signs. So then I just add 2x, and then I add this 56. And so then divide by 2, and I get x equals 28. And if x equals 28, then I could go ahead and plug it back into one of these. If x equals 28, then I could just subtract the 28 over. Or if x equals 28, then I could subtract the 28 over. Negative y equals negative 8. Either way, I get y equals 8. But remember, the answer is like how many years will they spend doing this. So that's 8 years on TV, watching TV, and 28. I just said hours over here. Years. 28 years sleeping. That's a long time to sleep. Okay. Number 5. The length of a new rectangular playing field is 8 yards longer than triple the width. Okay, so the length is 8 yards longer than, so 8 plus triple the width. So if the length equals 8 plus 3w and the width is w, then as far as perimeter goes, I just add up all the sides, but instead of adding up L, I'm going to add up this. So 2w, so 2 of these plus 2 of these, 2 of 8 plus 3w, and that will give me the total perimeter, which is 336. So I've got 2w plus 16 plus 6w equals 336. So 8w equals 320. So w equals 40. The width is 40. And if the width is 40, then the length is 40 times 3, which is 120, and then 128. So as far as this goes, it's yards. And there we go. So this right here, solve for y and determine whether the following equations define y as a function of x. This one right here, I don't know if you noticed, but you should recognize this as a circle. X squared plus y squared equals r squared, the radius being 4. This is a linear function. This is a quadratic once you move the x squared over, and this is a square root. As far as graphing each of these, like thinking about it, I've got a square root, I've got a linear function, I've got a quadratic, it's going to be a negative quadratic, and I've got a circle. Of all of these, only one of them does not pass the vertical line test, so that's pretty much a given that that's the answer. But in order to solve it, we would subtract the x squared, and here's the kicker. Whenever you take the square root, you get 2 answers, which means it's not a function, it's 2 functions. Okay, so here we would get negative x squared plus 9. That's already solved, and here we've got negative 3y equals negative 2x plus 6. Y equals 2/3 x minus 2. So this is a function. This is a function. I guess I'll just write it. Let's check. Function, function, function. Not a function. Okay. Number 7. Evaluate the function at the given values and simplify. F of negative 3 means plug in negative 3. Now, negative 3 squared, you have to be very careful that you think about the fact that you're squaring a negative number. Negative 3 squared is positive 9. And then negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9 again. And then minus 8. So that is going to be 10. F of negative x is very similar. Only instead of a 3, it's a negative x. So negative x quantity squared minus 3 times negative x minus 8. A negative x times a negative x is a positive x squared plus 3x minus 8. And then for x plus 9, we've got x plus 9 quantity squared minus 3 times x plus 9 minus 8. You need to expand this out, x plus 9 times x plus 9, and distribute. So that would be x squared plus 18x plus 81 minus 3x minus 27 minus 8. So don't forget to distribute that negative 3. And then we combine like terms. So final answer is going to be x squared plus 15x 81 minus, let's see, That's 35. Yeah, 35. 81 minus 35. I can't think. Oh, 6, so then, yeah, 7. Okay, so 46. So plus 46. Okay. Number 8. Use the graph to determine each of the following. The domain is how far left and right this function goes. Now, this kind of implicates to me that it goes on forever, so I'm going to go ahead and say domain is negative infinity until the stopping point, 6, and we include 6 because we reach it. Range is low to high. It seems like the lowest it goes is down to negative infinity, and the highest it goes is the high right here, which is 30. Maximum or minimum, it looks like we have a maximum at the coordinate point 3, 3. Yeah, and so that is a max of 3 at x equals 3. That coordinate point right there. Okay, zeros. Zeros are where you zeros are where you hit the x-axis. So one of the zeros is 0, 0. Interesting. Oh, okay. ABH. I think it's supposed to be D. I don't even see the zeros on their answers. Whatever. Okay. The zeros are, Well, I want to say 0, 0, but it doesn't look like it, does it? Well, the best we could do is we're going to say that. And 6, 0. Okay. F of 3 is the value, the y value when x equals 3. So this is f, remember f of x is just function notation. So x is 3, and this is saying f of x, that's the y value. So when x equals 3, the y value is 3. Okay, when is this increasing? So remember on intervals of increasing and decreasing, we only use x. So this function is increasing from negative infinity until 3. Okay, and no brackets, only parentheses. And then when is it decreasing? The function is decreasing from 3 until 6. And then that would be my answer. Okay, that's page 1.